Now that we have our HTTP web API in place, we want to create a service in our TypeScript code that has the single responsibility of interacting with our HTTP data. I'm going to come in here to the app folder and I'll create a new folder and we'll call this shared. Inside this shared folder, we're going to create a new file and we're going to call it eliteapi.service.ts. And let's add a new service. We're going to call it elite API. And in fact, I'm not going to use the word service at the very end of it here. And the first thing with working with HTTP data is we want to add an import. This is going to be from Angular HTTP. And specifically, we're going to bring in the HTTP as well as the response objects. And I want to inject this HTTP into the constructor. Now I'm going to create a private variable called base URL, which is the base URL for our web API. In order to get that, I'm going to go back over to Firebase. Here's my base URL here. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it right in here. Now, similar to what I did up here in the pages directory where I created a pages.ts, I'm going to do the same thing in the shared folder. So I'll come in here to shared and say new file. We'll call it shared.ts. And in here, we're simply going to say export star from Elite API service. And any other new files we put in the shared directory will add to the export statements here. Now there's a final thing we need to do to make this available in our app. We need to go to the app.ts file here. And I'm going to add an import for the shared directory. And of course, this is going to be the Elite API right here. Additionally, I'm going to add an import for Angular HTTP, specifically HTTP providers. Now under the component right here, after template URL, we're going to add providers. And we'll add Elite API and the HTTP providers. Why do we do this? This is standard Angular 2. We're injecting these providers here so that they'll be globally available to our entire application. Now we're ready to use our Elite API service in our individual screens.